Could Tottenham be in for Burnley's number one goalkeeper, Nick Pope, if they do decide to sell captain Hugo Lloris this summer? And also, what is the potential price tag that Tottenham could demand if clubs are looking to sign Harry Kane, as we know all the stuff that's come out regarding his future in the recent weeks? Of course, this is a new series called Paper Talk where we're going to be going through all of the sort of gossip and rumours from these sort of the UK papers, from the media outlets over here in the UK, and a couple over in Europe as well. As I said, we got some further news on Marcel Sabitzer from some German sources, as I did report. The main news coming from Ali Gold in my main transfer news. But of course, this is sort of an additional sort of series to the transfer talk where we just be going through some of the UK's papers and see what the back pages are saying regarding rumours surrounding Tottenham Hotspur. So yeah, let's get right into this. So, of course, let's start with the news coming from the Telegraph, of course, a newspaper here in the UK. And it is regarding Burnley goalkeeper Nick Pope. Of course, there has been a lot of rumours, particularly from these kind of sources, regarding Nick Pope. Could he be on his way to Tottenham this season with all the sort of speculation surrounding Hugo Lloris? The article says here, Burnley goalkeeper Nick Pope is the most likely successor to Hugo Lloris, although such a move would require Tottenham to secure European football or offload players. So look, that's an interesting point there. Of course, Nick Pope been sort of come in the England squad lately, been a very, very good goalkeeper over there for Burnley, who of course been definitely doing fantastically well over the last couple of seasons, as we know. And as I said, Nick Pope, he's a decent goalkeeper. And in terms of goalkeepers themselves, Could we be in for a goalkeeper this summer? Because we know the situation with Lloris. There's been all the talk of PSG and stuff with, of course, Maurizio Pochettino now being manager there. There was, of course, the interview he did after that absolutely European humiliation to Dynamo Zagreb in the second leg there. That interview, which I have to say again, he was completely spot on with everything he said there. Whether that's him, that could mean one of two things as well. Whether that's him wanting to stay, wanting to fight and turn the whole situation around at our club, or he might have just completely had enough and he wants to sort of go for a new step in his career. Of course, another thing as well, Hugo Lloris has been at Tottenham for up to 9 years now and been a fantastic servant and a fantastic goalkeeper to our club. And if he was to leave, I definitely wouldn't hold it against him. I really wouldn't. Of course, there's been everyone talking about him sort of declining and stuff. And look, yes, the mistakes have kind of creeped into him for the second half of this season. You saw notably the ones against Liverpool and Manchester City as well. So look, I think my personal opinion on it anyway is I think we should be looking for long-term goalkeepers. However, I would not be angry at all if Lloris was our number one goalkeeper come next season. However, I do believe we have to, if that is going to be the case, let's hope we do get that contract sorted out. It would probably only be for an extension for about a year, I'd say. But if he's going to be our number one next season, let's get that contract sorted out, even if it is just a year extension. So eventually, maybe the summer of 2022, we could look to sell him then, as he will be around 35 years old then. So look, what would you guys do of the goalkeeper situation? I know there has been a lot of sort of talk about it lately. Do we need to replace Lloris? Do we need to go in for a goalkeeper? And in terms of potential replacements, as I did say there, the main name banded around is Burnley's Nick Pope. And for me, look, if Lloris was to go, I think Nick Pope would be someone I'll definitely I wouldn't be too upset about us bringing in. He's a very solid goalkeeper there at Burnley, as I did say there. However, does he really fit the profile of the club? Because there's been rumours, of course, Burnley looking for around £35 million. He is 29 years old, so would a club like us, the way we like to operate when it comes to ages of players, would he go out and sign a player for £35 million? With the age of 29, I'm not so sure. Which does bring me on to another keeper, which I do want to talk about as well, and that is Mike Maignan of Lille. He's a goalkeeper who is a young goalkeeper, 25 years old. As we know, goalkeepers, I must point out as well, they do go on for a lot longer than outfield players. But Maignan, he's 25 years old. He's Personally, I haven't seen a lot of him. However, I've heard good reviews from him. He has, of course, been Lille's #1 for a couple of seasons now, with them, of course, in the title race in the French league this season. He has kept a number of clean sheets over the course of the last 2 seasons. I can't think of the exact number, but there is a lot of clean sheets he has kept. There's been comparisons to him potentially being Hugo Lloris' successor in the France national team. So he's got a lot of great reviews from France. I personally haven't seen a lot of Maiden, but I'm going to start watching a bit more of him so I can sort of tell you guys more about him and give you more of an opinion on him. But look, he'd definitely be someone that I'd like to see come in if we are looking for goalkeepers from everything I've heard. However, I do need to watch him a bit more, but I haven't heard any sort of bad things regarding him. So he definitely looks like a good goalkeeper there, Maiden. But that is the goalkeeping situation. As I said, I think if Lloris, as I said, he is aging, he is declining, and I do think we need to start looking for his long-term replacement. I do believe that. However, if he was our #1 next season, I don't think I'll be against it. However, maybe come the summer, if we do get a decent offer, maybe it could be time to sort of cash in and use that money to go and get a younger and more long-term replacement potentially. So look, if he was to move on in the summer, I wouldn't put it against him whatsoever, because he's been a fantastic servant to the club. So I wouldn't be against him moving on this summer. However, I wouldn't be against him being our #1 come next season. So what do you guys think of the goalkeeping situation? Do you guys want Hugo Lloris here next season, or would you like to see him be replaced come the summer? Let me know all your thoughts on that in the comments down below. So that is the situation regarding Hugo Lloris. Now, of course, we're now going to get on to a talking point, which has been a massive talking point with the typical British media, and that is, of course, Harry Kane. There's been a lot of talk of him potentially leaving the club to sort of go and win the big titles in his career. And look, there's been so much talk for this, and I hate the way the media are just sort of keep going. There seems to be an obsession with Sky. I really don't understand it. Just let Harry Kane, just let him do his thing. But look, the rumours are apparently that coming out of Sammy, I can't remember how you say his name. Coming from Sami Mokbel of the Daily Mail, and it's regarding Harry Kane and a potential massive price tag. And it says here, Tottenham striker is desperate to win trophies, but Daniel Levy will not sell to a domestic rival, and his 150 million asking price will put off Europe's elite. It says the news of Harry Kane's latest remarks regarding his Tottenham future filtered through to Daniel Levy's office on Sunday, and it is unlikely there would have been a sharp intake of breath. And then, of course, we know the quotes here. So look, with Harry Kane, look, people need to understand as well that him potentially going and him actually going are two completely different things, mainly due to the massive price tag that he would command. As I said there, the report from the Daily Mail is saying 150 million pounds that we could be looking for. And there's been talk of him potentially Manchester City, of course, with Sergio Aguero going. There's been talk of PSG as well, which for me would be the only 2 clubs which could have any chance of affording him whatsoever out of all the clubs in Europe, because you got the likes of, there's been talk of Madrid, Barcelona, but those clubs are really struggling financially as well, like the majority of clubs are in the COVID situation. But look, with Harry Kane, whether he leaves or not is a completely different thing. We've heard the news from Fabrizio Romano is that we are planning for the future with Harry Kane, and rightly so, because at the end of the day, all the cards lie in Tottenham's camp. He is on a 4-year contract. He did sign that only a couple of years ago. So I think for me, it would be extremely difficult for Kane to leave. And I just hope that the way he feels about it, I think, does depend on a lot of the rest of the season. If we can get in that top 4 and win the cup final, then I think he probably will be convinced to stay, and he'll probably see the club going in a better direction. And of course, if we have a good window in the next transfer window, as long as we can shift out these players that are holding the club back, with the likes of, you got the Sissokos, the Winks, these guys who just really have to go, and I'm quite sick of as well, quite frankly. So if we can get in some of the players that we need and shift out a lot of the dead wood, I think, and as I said, get top 4 and win the cup. It's a big if though, but if we can do it, then I think he probably would be convinced to say. But look, if not, if we finish like, I don't know, mid-table, we lose the cup final, then I think Kane, he probably would be considering pushing for a move. But at the end of the day, I can't see him moving at all, because the price tag in this current market for me would just be too much for any club. And as the report said, we will not be selling to a domestic rival, which is completely understandable. And I completely agree with that, because we saw, I think it was after the Berbatov deal, we said that we were never going to deal with Man United again. Manchester City, I think they're the only ones we've sold to lately. Of course, Kyle Walker back in 2017. So look, the situation with Harry Kane for me is that I think it's very, very, very difficult for him to leave. And I think hopefully we can sort of match his ambitions, hopefully, which we haven't been able to do so far. So hopefully we can sort of finish the season strongly and hopefully convince him that he's at the right place to be. So yeah, that is the situation with Harry Kane there. And I just want to point out as well, just the media, the Sky Sports pundits, just leave him alone. Seriously, it's just, come on. It's the way they go on about it, it's literally an obsession for them. So yeah, there you go. Sky, just don't listen to Sky if you're watching this as well. Now on to the last piece of news regarding the Paper Talk episode, and it's more news on Marcel Sabitzer, of course. Literally 5 minutes ago when I recorded my main Transfer Talk stream, I was talking about the news coming from Alistair Gold for Marcel Sabitzer, and that he is one of our #1 targets this summer, which is what you love to see. There's been news as well coming out from Germany, of course, where his club RB Leipzig are based, and it's from the source Bild, who are a decent, quite a reliable source, I believe, as well as the journalist I was talking about from the Daily Mail. I know the Daily Mail, it's not a reliable source. However, that journalist, Sami Mokbel, he tends to be a bit more reliable than some of the others. But this source here is quite a decent, reliable source from Germany. It says Marcel Sabitzer has informed RB Leipzig that he wants to leave this summer. Manchester United, Liverpool are interested in the midfielder, but Tottenham are leading the competition to sign him. It says as well, RB Leipzig are aware that Marcel Sabitzer will not renew his contract, which expires in 2022, and that he wants to change clubs this summer. He wants a Premier League move, and Tottenham are 75% likely to be his next club. So it's a very, very interesting one there coming out from Germany. 75% chance. I'm not sure where they're getting that from, but if that's the case, then happy days, because look, as I said, Sabitzer would be a fantastic signing for us. But that's just some of the talk coming out from Germany, where, as I said, his club RB Leipzig are based. So there's sort of good indications coming from, of course, Alistair Gold and out there in Germany. So I think there is quite a bit of noise around it. And I think, look, as I said, if we can fend off competition, if we can sell some of our deadwood players come the summer, then I think we could hopefully get a deal done for Sabitzer in this one. So yeah, that is the end. That is the end of the Paper Talk episode. Would this be a series you'd like to see continue, where I go through sort of the gossip from some of the papers and stuff, as sort of an additional sort of segment to the main Transfer Talk that I do with all the main rumours from the top journalists, the likes of Fabrizio Romano, Alistair Gold, all these guys on that one? But this one is sort of just a sort of a sub sort of category for the Transfer Talk. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like and hit the subscribe button as well. Of course, this is the new channel, Come On You Spurs Daily. So yeah, make sure you go, if you're coming from my old channel, make sure you smash the subscribe button on this channel, because it's where all my uploads will be from now on. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, Come On You Spurs.